So TLC's Extreme Couponing All-Star Show is out. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to be a part of it or not. Because I thought, do we do this?
Do it again?
I don't know. But then they said, oh, but you get a shopping partner. I'm like, okay, that's not so bad. So Jen's my shopping partner.
The pressure.
Yes,
Thanks.
yeah, exactly. But you know what? It's like she was a good cheerleader. She's like, woohoo! So
I'm sure it was loud and obnoxious. I can't wait to see it.
it'll be fun. But you know what? It was such a lot of work. I mean, it was way more work to prepare for this than I imagined.
I had a much greater respect for you after doing the first show when we went through this one together, and I was like, I can't believe you did it again, because that was a lot of work.
Well, it
was a lot of work.
And because going to the store and scouting, and what we would scout this week, next week would be different, and the following week. So it took about 3 weeks. So that was like our shopping trip, and the list was constantly evolving. It's like, take this off, add this one.
When we got new coupons, and then we had to rehash the whole game plan when we got new coupons and better coupons and things like that. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work.
So why did you decide to actually do this with me?
Mostly because it was for charity, and I thought that was really fun. Really, really fun option. And our goal was, too, to have the biggest haul, right? And see how big of a shopping trip we could do. And I think we did pretty good.
It was crazy. I mean,
I think we surprised ourselves.
I know. Really, because even in the process of going into it, it was like, is it really going to be that much? Because you don't know.
Right.
Because we didn't pre-order anything.
Right.
So all of our stuff was what was on the shelf. And I can remember, I think it was the beans or something. There wasn't enough in the aisle.
Yes.
And then we found them.
Two different spots.
Yes.
Yes. I remember that.
So it's like, I mean, you just don't know in going into it. I just remember, is like when I put my hands on the shopping cart, I got that hot blank, you know.
I remember preparing, and I remember telling you, like, we have 30 minutes, and you were going to have to hustle. I'm like, Jen, you're going to have to run. And you're like, I'm not running. I'm not running in that store. And I was like, you are going to run. I remember that being a big... And you ran, and you did awesome. It was great.
It was so scary, though. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, first of all, running through the store, really? You know, who runs through the grocery store? You know? The
funniest was seeing the people that were actually in the store, just bystanders, watching all this, and, like, seeing you run, and their reaction, like, what are they doing over there?
Seriously?
Yeah. It was funny. I hope they catch some of those faces.
Okay, so I have to hear this because we haven't talked about this.
I know we haven't.
Okay, so what was your perspective? Because you had to stay up at the front.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me from your perspective the whole trip.
I felt like I had like this bubble around me though, because like I was told I could not go past the end of that cashier, that line. Like I was not allowed to step out further. I could hand you the cart and that was it. But as far as like figuring out where you were, like I would holler at you, but then I didn't know if you could hear me, you know, because I didn't know where you were. I knew from our plan, though, because we had our plan done by aisle. So we had our list done by aisle. So we knew exactly list number 1, you're going to get these things on this aisle and go and then come back. And then get these things on this aisle and go and come back, right? And so I knew pretty much where you were going to go and where you were going to be in the store. But it was really nerve-wracking because then I was like, I could hear you in a different part. And I thought, oh, no, I thought she was on aisle number 1. And now you're, like, in produce. And I was like, oh, no, I hope she's getting everything. Like,
oh, my gosh.
It was nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking, but...
I didn't know that because I didn't know they told you couldn't leave that area. Okay, I didn't know that. And then even I think at one point, the way you had the aisle set up, I ended up switching it like midway through.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I don't, it was like such a blank, honestly. Yeah. It was such a blank.
Yeah.
But I could hear you up front.
Oh, good.
I could hear you, but it's like.
I'm pretty loud.
Yeah, you know, it's a cheerleader voice.
Mother of 5 kids, you know. The cheerleader training would come in handy.
Exactly. But it was a lot of work, but it was really fun. And I think for me at the very end when we were able to, you know, give all of that stuff to the St. Teresa organization.
That was so much fun.
That was so cool.
That was so fun. That still gets me like teary-eyed when I think about it because I remember that was a long day and I think we were just exhausted and to finally just be able to give it and just to be done with it, that felt so good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I think it was one of the biggest donations they'd ever received, which that was neat. And then the guy that we were...
Are we allowed to tell how much we gave?
Yeah.
Wasn't it over $1,800?
Can you believe that?
That's a lot.
I know. In 30 minutes.
A lot. In 30 minutes.
It's like that was, I mean, it was worth it. It was really worth it. It was fun.
Win or lose.
Yes.
It was fun and it was worth it. So. Well, I think almost everything that was on our list was something that we thought could be useful to our organization that we were donating to, like diapers. We made sure to get diapers and formula. I I think we got some deodorants and floss and things like that too, right? Like some health and beauty type stuff, like kind of a nice, well-rounded group of products that everybody be able to use.
So I know that the show kind of talked about the couponing angels, and it's the couponing angels is just kind of a term that we coined because it's something
almost
about
by accident, I think, didn't we?
It is seriously, and because the angel side of it is about just being able to bless somebody.
Yes.
And it's, it's like the person who can drop off something on someone's doorstep and they don't know who left it, but it's something they need. It's like that blessing that you can give somebody.
Sure.
And that's really what the whole Couponing Angels thing was about.
Yes.
Was it's how can you, give and bless? Because the one thing I've learned in this whole process is that there is no excess in charity.
No.
No matter how much you give, no matter how little you give, no matter what you give, there isn't any excess in it. And so it's worth going to that extra mile. And that's where kind of the Couponing Angels came up.
Yeah.
Is, how can we bless people, and just kind of coin that term.
Yes.
And then I did an interview with Chris Duff, one of the other extreme couponing all-stars.
Sure.
And he was like, that's exactly it. It's like being a couponing angel is trying to just share your knowledge and share that wealth that you have in being able to save money with other people, and they don't have to know that it's you.
Right. How fun is that, though? Right. I remember before I started couponing, we were pretty tight with our money and with our resources and everything. And after I learned how to do this, I'll never forget the first time the scouts came to our house and they were scouting for food for their little drive. And I brought that little guy in and I was like, come on in. And I just cleared a whole shelf of stuff. And I knew it didn't hurt my family's budget. It felt so amazing. And that was my first aha moment, if you will, as far as what this could do, not only for my family, but for everybody else around me. And even if we just teach them how to do it, it's the whole thing, teach a man to fish kind of a thing. That's why I think why we teach these workshops and the classes, because I want people to know how to do this for themselves. It's exciting.
It is funny. It's funny because I got an email from somebody that had come to one of the workshops, and that's actually what she's done.
Oh, really?
She's like, her budget has been saved by so much that now the focus is trying to get as much as that she possibly can to donate. And that's like being able to do that. It's like there's such a freedom. Plus, it's a different drive. It's not about just stocking more things and getting things that we don't need. I mean, it's important for us to make sure we have enough for our family.
Sure.
But then after you have enough for your family, what's the next step?
Yeah.
How can you share? Exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
That's cool.
Flip it over to Jen.
Good.
And say,
like, that was perfect. I don't say nothing.
No, Jen, say, and we'll show you how to do.
What are you talking about?
Hey, Jen.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
So tell him.
Jen.
No, go.
You.
Tell him.
Yeah. Our goal is to help you save 50% or more on your groceries. I know I save about 65% a month right now, pretty consistently. Jen, where are you at?
Well, I don't know percentage-wise, but I know bottom line, we used to spend between $1,100 and $1,200 a month, and we're down to about $450 a month for a family of 7.
Anyways,
that's amazing.
we could have zeroed it out. It was so close.